sounds good. Oh, question.
What is it streaming on YouTube? Still streaming on YouTube? So wonderful to think. Oh, that's right. Testing. Testing.
Right? Thank you. Call the meeting to order. It is 5:30. Uh, date on the pipe. I'll read it aloud if you want me to. As part of the City of Benton Harbor's lead service line replacement project, every water service line in the city needed to be investigated and replaced if lead or galvanized steel found between the water main and the meter. Project was divided into zones. Hoffman Brothers Excavating Incorporated was awarded. Hoffman Brothers investigated services supported buildings between 100 after locating a curb box that was identified. Water lines on the utility side were galvanized steel pipes, two galvanized main from the alley. Due to lead and copper rules, these lines
2 inch.
require 200. This is the picture of the old alley. Goes on. I'm not going to read the whole. I think that biggest concern was beautified. That was questioning driveways. Up there was none that was not question became where did that money come from? Came to that, you can do about the 2 inch water main line services and a larger question with that. Fire hydrant was installed at the end of the water. All right, but question becomes why is Allister, which is an innocent alley, but difference. This commission voted on, voted on. Did vote because of the price of it. Did vote on that. And listening to president, or watching their president talk about us, fact, 'cause they did site planning, site reviews. Knew, they knew what they were getting into. Wholeheartedly, that nobody tell me that we didn't know.
Speaking to the mic.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. The alley that's in question that they're talking about, Pipestone to Colfax Alley, is the alley that's right here behind.
Cornerstone.
Well, not just behind the restaurant. The whole alleyway. So, but to be compared to voted on, concrete, asphalt, concrete, asphalt, black sections. Out. What are we gonna do for the
That's being planned, sir, for the next, working on that now.
or the wish deal that just did this? Other thing would be find something of this
Magnitude.
when you find something, I mean, because this is a tremendous report to be compared to Fort Allister cost. This is what this is saying. Wouldn't that be something that, I mean, even to put, say that they need to put a new fire hydrant there to help the city. Good thing. But not we notified. I want to be have the full autonomy, but if all of that replaced, Mr. Henry,
Here's the mic.
Talking to the microphone.
battery or not?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Thank you, city manager and the clerk, yeah.
Technical difficulties. Put some more in there. Yeah, put more.
All right, thank you, sir. Two things about this project. Information about it. That automatically sets big red flags up on both sides. Something is amiss. It may not be, but issue. Money. Since they brought up Smith Court, we did approve Smith. Since they brought up this, we did approve McAllister too. So, to the chair, what is the difference in these projects? So far, I personally don't have an answer. Know that they replace water mains all over the place, the city, when they found one that needed replacing. So, there's what, 4 businesses there? There's only so many water lines connected to those 4 businesses. I'm gonna ask the question from Aramark, our engineer, as to how many lines were dug up? so I can understand.
Mr. Thank you
City
very much.
Manager Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me try to answer this in layman terms because it's the only way I know it. I'm not an engineer. All the other water lines were done in the streets. When they dug up the street, paved over back over. Us in this alley, they had to do all down the middle of the alley. They couldn't go to one side and then cover it up. They did the middle of the alley, so the whole alley was messed up. That's what you hear. And I keep trying to explain that once they dug it up and did the water lines, they had to fix the alley back. They had to pave it back.
Thank you, City Manager, in layman terms. Where's the water shutoff at now? Is water shutoffs in the front? Because usually that's where the main is at. So you got a water main that's going down that alley. Does that water main stop in that alley or does it continue down the next alley? Because if you have shutoff should be in the back of the building. And then there's no sense in us doing anything for the hotel building that was right there. I guarantee that's where they found that box. So were they planning for the future? Where's the shutoffs at now? And does that because the main don't when you talk about a water main, the main won't stop in that alley. The main has to be connected to somewhere else, something else, somewhere else. So why they follow that main down? The alley's connected with the library. The other side, other businesses down that alley. So why did they stop just in that
They go ahead, Alex.
First off, they connected to the 6-inch Colfax. You're exactly correct. Let me say it like this. If there was a 2-inch main there, which is insufficient to charge, you got into that issue. 2-inch main to service. Had this not been done, ultimately it would have been placing that, went right down the middle, dug up the entire, do that. we, the city, we ultimately are the
Leads me to point number two. Mr. Director, city manager, or whichever director, since this is a public economic development meeting, then why not we replace like for like? Why is there additional driveways now? Ali, and that was my question before. Who paid? Because this picture is not the finished product. You don't see the finished product. Any of these pictures only shows you what it used to look like. Product, and why was not, and if there was any upgrade, I'm gonna leave messed up. And they put brand new concrete lifts and elevations to these driveways that were never there. So if there was any kind of improvements, which I understand what we're saying, old people water, fire suppression system, why didn't we replace it?
all of it.
Hey.
I thought they replaced.
Us to
Can you show those give me those addresses? Okay, give me those so we can get it to them then.
immaculate job. It's like piano keys. I do feel as if whoever put the order in for the upgrade, not just to put the paint in, concrete back. And somebody had to design. It's looking right now. That's why we came back. Pylons up there, parking lot, right to do what we want to do. One person not be so, then why would they bring a document, even asking us to not annex the alley, but to stop using the alley for a shared do it and have outside dining. Commissioner Henry. If we can get that back, lastly, I would say this, this just suggests to me somebody went above and beyond the call. Important document. Did it drawings? Did it? Somebody had a greater plan. Says that we're serving several residential properties on Smith Court. So, we voted on Smith Court project. What was going to happen? What was going to happen? Unless suggesting that we give them full autonomy. Because in the past we voted on something similar. Question. Different when truth of the matter is I would ask of the city, all our downtown alleys start. One alley I see down there.
Is in parking lot.
Street was torn, the alley was torn up to put the mains in.
When this project started, that there weren't permits required individually for
City page 3 of 5, it says that the permit allowed for 268 feet, 6-inch water main in the alley. It also it suggests that Eagle told them to dig deeper, place it deeper. Approved. Asked when they went to that further discussion between Eagle and the city upon the initial. Eagle confirmed that a permit was necessary to make the proposed corrections, place the 2-inch galvanized water main and service. That's what it said at the top. I guess Eagle or heated for like, but when they had out. I don't know who would they get.
It was coming from Eagle, I think, saying that that water side small for.
Yeah, that's what it says. It said further discussion between Eagle and the city was completed on the initial investigation, and Eagle confirmed that a permit was necessary make the proposed correction to replace the 2-inch galvanized water main and services. The permit allowed, that's what it says. Then it goes on to say, once the project was permitted, had a permit. Hoffman Brothers Excavating provided pricing under their initial lead service line placement contract. That means they had to do an upgrade. This initial amount wasn't pricing wasn't good enough. They came back and they had to pay more money for what they found. So, I mean, get on the permit. They got a permit.
Do this, we'll have Marsh come in and
Please,
next meeting.
please. Commissioner Henderson.
Question is, we're asked, alley,
Not to vacate it.
Bring traffic to the down.
in order to
Drop down the ground, get in. Need to.
that needed to be done. Comparison with the other alleys. Those kinds of like using Facebook, embarrass or shame us into doing something will not tolerate. That is the piece that I don't appreciate at all, but it needs to be said and known. I definitely approve of it. I think it's those tactics. Gonna do it because it should be done, and I think total this project cost at this point it's done, but I think moving forward of how much it costs. I think the governing body, what they're asking for, and I don't think we're not especially since I live on an alley. It's still not paved. It's holes all through it. We park on the alley. So I have similar residents. I think that is what the expression and the disagreement is about.
I do concur with Commissioner Henderson, but to go a step further, that was one time they did the alleyway presentation. But just recently, Cleveland himself came out, stuff talking about city council, city of Ben Harbor, very unfortunate, especially somebody who was a president. It shows that young man, that young brother who came in here, I can't remember his name, but he said it to our face. We're gonna do what we want to anyway. We just coming to tell y'all. And they might have got mad at him and upset with him because he did say it. But that behavior is the real way they feel about the city of Ben Harbor. And I hate to say that, but in all intents and purposes, that's what's literally, been happening. They put out this lie that all we do down here is fight, fuss and fuss. Somebody is promoting negativity about this commission, and I tell you a step further, the best way to rid people of people is to degrade them. Kill the education system. Kill the water. Do everything you can. Kill the transportation system. That's what's happening. And if we continue to back and act like, have all this water. The saddest thing, and I'm gonna go to this children go to our school.
What you suggested? Communicate and say what our concerns. Be it talk with somebody.
Talking to your mic, Alex.
Yeah, but I think we need to just sit down and have it. I believe they are trying to do something.
And you should know that we meet with them monthly. We, us, Alex and myself. So what has gone on? So what has gone on in the past is not going on now, and whatever it was. Okay, they're meeting with us, and matter of fact, they're helping us because the property for where the corner of Wall Street goes was theirs, and they're selling that to them to put that project in.
That's the problem. Couldn't get the
River. Right.
But Wall Street project, Whirlpool project.
Say that again?
The Whirlpool project was arm in arm with the Wall Street project on the same days when they did the presentations.
Yeah,
Project T.
yeah. Oh, you talking about Project T? That's different from the Wall Street project.
Well, no, I'm talking, this,
He's saying they came up on the
it came up on the same night,
Okay.
same agenda.
All right.
And we agreed to both of them, same night.
Right.
Yeah, so that's where our inner city people will propose to stay down there and get a grocery store, services, and everything else right here. So that was part of it. And then somebody told them to back out. Other projects started being talked about. Alleyway, somebody told somebody to back out. That's not like Riverwood, who in Harbor Towers, and other places. But for some reason, they don't want to go into a brand new building, brand new offices, brand new spaces. It don't make sense.
That part, I.
One last comment. Just one last comment. Again, I agree. Total cost of it, but what was done,
Upgrades
the total upgrades that
from the original to the new. From the original price after the investigation was going on. And I appreciate taught me something. If I never tell you again, you taught me one thing. Told me God ain't making no more property. And I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna hold that for the rest of my life. God is not making any more property, so keep what you got. Community economic development. Anybody else on that before we move on? Community economic development. Up. Go ahead, sir. Could you please come up to the mic? Just because we're being recorded. Thank you, Mr. Duncan.
It's working. Speak.
Working.
Speak.
statements. Appreciate it. Economic development update.
I might, before I share something that I think everybody needs to know.
Talking to you, Mike.
I've been, is it working now? Can you hear? I've been involved with the city since 1984, as Ellis was even before that. I think at least a year before that. It wasn't always this way, because I'm going to tell you, when we were here back in that period, and things had gotten about as bad as they could get, and we started pulling it out, we had people cooperating with us. The change occurred at the point when I left the first time. The politics and office holders in city government here changed. And there's a lot of stuff that went on between then and when I came back in 2000 that started to change this to be the kind of situation that he's talking about. After I left in 2000, or 2001, it went back to more stuff starting. So some of the stuff we brought on ourselves. I'm talking about our predecessors. And I watched it happen, so I'm just going to be straight up about it. That's how it went. Now,
Is there, I'm before you go into that, I just want to know if there's a way that we can do something for. This is not a minority thing, but I think that even if we can provide something for the businesses that have stayed in our community for this kind of award, a plaque, or something for them, because I would hate. I mean, even like it or not, Miss Smokey's been there for years. That other businesses that have been here for a lot of years, maybe we can come from community economic development, get them, something. People, especially, Commissioner Henderson does neighborhood cleanup. Maybe to get these businesses out and then recognize them. Month, plaques or whatever, small plaque. It ain't got to be nothing big. Just to show appreciation. Well, I mean, you got tons of businesses down here that nobody ever say thank you, but they pay the high water bills, and I think it's sometimes there's nothing wrong with just saying thank you. They're bearing some of the expense. Even Abermarsh been there for what I hear, but they've been there for a lot of years, and nothing wrong with saying thank you for being in our community. Being in our community. So I would give up my stipend once. Pay for that. However, I would like to see that come from this body. And our names of the business corporations. And thank you.
Well, you must get out of my head, okay? We're planning a business summit. Some of us don't even know who all the businesses are. And we want to get to know them and break bread with them all together at a summit. On the plan. Yeah.
Like it or not, I think Commissioner Henderson is pretty sharp. I ain't that dull a knife. I can room and talk to a lot of us, Commissioner Henry. We have the best interests at heart, and then we need to know what people are doing. Ain't no use in having
Yeah.
Maybe it could be the Carl Brown. Whatever. Oh, economic development update. Thank you.
Okay. First, the EV, which stands for corrections made
Speak into your mic.
to Mike. Yeah, this one, it seemed like it ought to pick up without it being all in your mouth. But we did get back from HUD some written concerns about the public hearing comment process. Essentially, well, what's happening first? Mentioned, I think, previously that our regular representative, Deborah, has been put on a rotating assignment till the end of March. So we've had a new person assigned to us. New person is and one of the points that she raised when we sent in the minutes of the public hearing was that we need to delineate in that public hearing portion only comments from the public should be in there, that commissioners or committee members or whatever after that, so that whatever comments the public makes, it is clear that that's what that is. So I told her we would do that in the future. A reminder that the comment period is currently still ongoing until the 30th for the regular CDBG. Behind these, start to implement programs. I think I should say, in fairness to myself, that over these last few weeks, it's been really kind of rough because not only the holidays typically use pick up when nobody's around. But then to add on top of it, we had our system go down. They were doing an upgrade. Computer system failed where for 3 days we couldn't get access to the network. And something's wrong with this thing. It needs to be fixed because that's not the way it's supposed to work. But anyway, I just thought I would mention that. And update on Ox Creek and Hall Park. The Eagle did put out 12 sample meters in starting down here at Hall Park and all the way out to Napier. Spaced them out to take readings on what kinds of problems they might find. And we don't have the final information back yet, but they did say the preliminary information indicated serious issues, and which is a positive and a good thing. The Army Corps of Engineers is in the process of preparing to come through with us and work with us on studying the flooding and flashiness, which is a big concern to us, and make a grant to us to cover the cost of doing that. EPA is becoming very actively involved in working with us in the system project. Congressman Upton's earmark was approved in the congressional bill for $3 million that will be project. We're waiting on the results for the Spark grants for both Hall Park and for Gene Clark Park. Things are moving along. A lot of people involved in trying to help do all, because there seems to be hundreds of pieces to this. One, we're doing a study right now of all of the different places within like 10 or 12 blocks on each side of the creek that have had, over the last almost 100 years, things like oil companies that maybe had spills and so forth that could be getting into the water table and moving down to their other kinds of things. The EPA-sponsored group that's here from Kansas State University has brought in a consultant also that works in this area with them, and they've gone back and gotten maps and things that go back to 1800 that shows where businesses and buildings and different types were, where there were recorded spills and things, and we're going to be looking at those and trying to determine impact. There's a lot of work going on relative to that project. Project T is proceeding, and we're preparing for discussions of the implementation of the plan unit development process. Have a pre-meeting where all of us sit down and talk about everything that's going to be involved in that. Keep that moving forward. On a Wall Street project, I think I mentioned a little earlier, it did meet recently with another agency to try and secure a commitment needed to provide the services required. Cornerstone did help us with that. In fact, the meeting was held over at Cornerstone to enable the city and they hope to be able to submit their package by April 1st. I'm working on doing some preliminary work toward trying to identify a site for a trash transfer station. Seeking suitable sites for locating this type of facility in order for us to pursue grant funding to enable the city to improve its solid waste processes and make possible some recycling. Certainly reduce costs for us and improve services. This whole solid waste issue is a big ticket cost item. There are considerable improvements that can be made working toward trying to do that. And just to give a very brief example, right now we go out with our compactors, fill it up, drive from here to Waterville, pay $55 a ton to dispose of it. Interested in recycling, there's no opportunity to, because the truck is crushed, it goes straight to the landfill. There are places up around Holland, up towards Grand Rapids, dumping fees of $29, $39 a ton, considerably less than that 55. If we can come up with a process, facility where we can take and unload this stuff here, serving a recycling unit, but we may even force separation. But we then haul and put all this stuff in a big hopper, haul it however distance we need to get the lower cost. One driver with one tractor with one hopper hauls what would probably take 5 or 6 of these compactors running back. So you're not only saving manpower, you're saving on your equipment, you're saving on costs all the way around. Housing is rapidly coming up on priority list because state is now releasing funds for doing housing. It's placing heavy emphasis on housing through MISTA. They just released their housing allocation plan. We and part of it put special emphasis on most underserved cities in the state. This area, Benton Harbor, is highlighted. So we can expect that we will receive some attention out of this.
Please speak into the mic.
I'm sorry. I got to get used to it.
Yeah, I know.
I had to get a lapel. So is it going to be like NSP 2 or NSP 1 where they built like blocks, like say for instance on Broadway where we own tons of lots? Can it be that they start building up neighborhoods like that, or is it going to be something where you have to partner with the Housing Commission and the Housing Commission has to build these? Or
No, I think it's probably going to be more like what you said first, where we might be able to do some, we may have to partner with some private developers to do something. But I think it's going to create quite an opportunity for us. We're saying to them that we need replacement housing for low income, for many of the places that right now occupied that really are not up to code and need to be replaced. We also need some workforce housing to appeal to people who come into the community, work in the area, and live in Benton Harbor, place to live. Through that kind of process, housing is the key to economic development. We can get the kind of housing that's attractive to people, that they bring their families here. It begins to rebuild your school system. It begins to rebuild tax base, the appearance, everything. It ties into everything that goes on. And that's why it's really important to us to get something going in that area. We want to try and get the position get the city in a position to take maximum advantage of the funding that comes available, and we want to try to also target to build some multifamily homes in some of these empty spaces that you see up and down these vacant lots and things. Right now, the economics of the building process are such that cost of materials have gone up so high that many builders are saying it doesn't make economic sense now to build single-family homes during this period. You can't afford to because you can sell it for what it costs to build it. But multifamily units, fourplexes, sixplexes, and so forth, would be economically feasible. I think that would do a great deal for this city to fill in a lot of the spaces that previously have been strictly single-family homes with structures of that nature. We sat in today a training session that's being put on dealing with the whole housing issue. And one of the points that they were making that's realistic, a lot of the housing that exists in not only our city, but a lot of cities, housing that was built back before the 70s and even 60s, in some cases 50s. That was when big families were normal. A lot of places now that doesn't really fit because you got a lot of two people families, three people. They're not as large as they used to be. And that's kind of what we've got going on in economic development right now. Continue to move along and try to take advantage of every opportunity that the city can. reaching out to whomever we can to try and assist, because as I've said before, and I need to really keep saying it, all of these things are coming about now as a part of that money that came through ARPA and coronavirus. All has the same sunshine dates on it. As to 80% spent by September 30, 2024, 100% spent by September 30, 2026. Whether it's housing, whether it's whatever, it's all from the same pot and all has the same deadline on it, which means that we, the city, with our limited resources, have ways to take advantage of it and get it in here and do what needs to be done with it.
Thanks. I had a couple with the transfer station. I know you talking
Mhm. It's really important for something like that. It has to be away from residential areas, and it needs to be close to highway access. You get noise, a lot of dirt and dust, a lot of trucks coming and going. Close to constant complaints. Somewhere close to either highways. We want to get as far away from residential areas and other things as possible.
other thing, comment I was going to make about housing with the cost of materials and that kind of thing, partnering with with like a Gordon Hill, some of the facilities. Set up, I think, in a great way.
We had some discussion with a couple of you.
Any updates on
Yeah, I sent an update to you today. The HUD reps came out, so we were expecting quick turnover, but one of the main people had some kind of a family emergency. He's just getting back, but they are getting ready to start moving fast on getting to a decision point. I'm going to make sure you're kept updated.
Former commissioner.
Yeah, Rep. Crenshaw. Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
He's on the commission, but is he chair? They made him chair? Oh, okay,
No, that we're talking about it.
yeah.
Well, is that it? That's everything?
It's everything.
Commissioner Henry? Hold it. Responsibility contracting policy and the mentorship program. Can we, is that, we can probably tie that in with Manchester Bidwell too, to see, what can happen. I mean, just the concept. Because I was asked the same thing, so Let's do. Let's. You put that on the next. Sorry, put that on our next. Agenda. All right. That being all, everybody have an excellent night. Thank you for coming out.